NCP continues to remain shocked by the resignation of Sharad Pawar. We are now learning that perhaps by today or tomorrow, they will have a name in terms of who will be leading the party from here on. Of course, the front runners continue to remain his nephew Ajit Pawar and his daughter Supriya Sule.
आणि इतकी वर्ष संधी मिळाल्याच्यानंतर आणखी महत्त्वाच्या समाजाची भूमिका मी तर कधी घेणार नाही आणि त्यामुळं तुम्हाला अस्वस्थता कदाचित वाटते पण मी राष्ट्रवादी काँग्रेस पक्षाच्या अध्यक्षपदावर निवडणूक करायचा निर्णय आज घेतलेला आहे.
It's been 3 days since NCP chief dropped the resignation bomb. And Sharad Pawar is adamant on his decision.
शरद पवार साहेब त्यांच्या निर्णयावर ठाम दिसतात. मी महाराष्ट्रात काम करतोय. महाराष्ट्र सोडून मला दिल्लीची जबाबदारी मला दुसऱ्या राज्यात माझ्या ओळखीही नाहीयेत आणि माझा संपर्कही दुसऱ्या राज्यांशी नाहीये.
But emotions are running high among the baffled NCP workers.
पवार साहब ने हमको कहा है कि पिछले 3 दिनों से हम आंदोलन कर रहे हैं और हमारी भावनाओं को विचार में लिया जाएगा. आप सभी कार्यकर्ताओं से मैंने पूछना चाहिए था मगर मैंने पूछा नहीं. अगर पूछता तो आप निर्णय नहीं लेने देते. मगर नया नेतृत्व आगे लाने के लिए मैंने निर्णय लिया था. मगर देश के सभी भागों से लोग उनको मिलने आ रहे हैं और वो सभी भागों के लोगों की भी उनको विनती है कि आप ये निर्णय वापस लो.
To pacify his party workers, Sharad Pawar visited the YB Chavan Centre. He said that the party will give a final decision in a day or two. Requests to reconsider the decision were made.
ये हम सबके कार्यकर्ताओं के भावना का विचार कर आने वाले 2 दिन में पवार साहब निर्णय लेंगे ऐसा उन्होंने सूचित किया है.
उसको भी ध्यान में रखा जाएगा.
हमारा मांग का सोच विचार किया जाएगा और उसको मद्देनजर रखते हुए निर्णय लिया जाएगा.
But Sharad Pawar says it was all for the betterment of the party. The committee formed by Pawar, comprising daughter Supriya Sule, nephew Ajit Pawar, Praful Patel, Chhagan Bhujbal and others as its members are going to meet today. Supriya Sule has been meeting opposition parties. Uddhav Thackeray said that the unity of the Maha Vikas Aghadi would remain intact. Amid the ongoing humdrum, all eyes are on the big meeting today to decide the future of the party. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Now, several areas of Manipur saw large-scale violence Wednesday. Armed mobs set houses on fire. But is it actually the demand for the scheduled tribe status that triggered the clashes, or is it a result of an eviction drive by the Manipur government to clear reserve forests of illegal immigrants? Here's all you need to know.
Manipur is burning. Armed mobs attacked villages, set house after house on fire, and ransacked shops. Residents fear there could be more and more attacks and bloodshed in the coming days. All this happened when a clash broke between the Imphal Valley-based Metis and the hill-based Kukis. The Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh appealed for peace and said that a misunderstanding led to the clashes.
These accidents are a result of prevailing misunderstanding between two sections of our society. The state government is seized of the developments and taking all steps to control the law and order situation. Additional central paramilitary forces have been requisitioned for deployment in sensitive areas.
Army and Assam Rifle personnel stepped in and conducted area domination exercises to restore law and order in the state. Mobile internet services across the state suspended for next 5 days. Curfew has also been imposed in several districts of the state. Flag marches are being conducted. And shifting of villages to safer area is also under progress. So far, 9,000 people have been rescued by the forces. And in view of the prevailing law and order situation, the Manipur governor approved the State Home Department's shoot at sight order. The State Home Department has also set up relief camps for people stranded due to the violence. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
You are with Republic TV. On the other side, more news coming your way. We get you international news, including Russia's presidential spokesperson says the attack on the Kremlin was plotted in Washington. And Israelis block roads as they continue to protest against the judicial overhaul bill.
तो एक हिसाब से आप सबका स्वागत है बुद्ध बनने के लिए। और जब उस अवस्था का अनुभव होता है तो आपके भीतर शांति ही होती है। भले आसपास कुछ भी गड़बड़ी हो जाए, भीतर की शांति जो है वो हिलती नहीं है। ऐसा क्या है जो भगवान गौतम बुद्ध उन्होंने अनुभव किया और हम नहीं कर पाए?
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who were members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
You do still have the aspirations of being a chief minister, which almost every leader who spent so much time in public life would have that expectation. Why is it so wrong for you to admit the fact that yes, you have that kind of expectation?
Who said I don't have any aspiration? I am a politician, I am not a sannyasi, but my duty is to bring Congress Party to power. And the party high command will decide on a democratic political process.
For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into the Congress fold?
They have their own experience, well-matured people, 6-time MLA, former Chief Minister, former Deputy Chief Minister. They know. You and I also know about the history of RSS. We believe in different ideology. So he also thought that now we have to go for a change. It is earlier RSS may be different, now RSS may be different.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who were members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
You do still have the aspirations of being a chief minister, which almost every leader who spent so much time in public life would have that expectation. Why is it so wrong for you to admit the fact that yes, you have that kind of expectation?
Who said I don't have any aspiration? I am a politician, I am not a sannyasi, but my duty is to bring Congress Party to power. And the party high command will decide on a democratic political process.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who were members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any.
Shooting in a school in Pakistan's Parachinar, at least 8 people are dead, several suffer injuries. Another US bank is on the verge of collapse. PacWest Bancorp is in talks with potential partners and investors. Russian presidential spokesperson says the attack on the Kremlin was plotted in Washington. Israelis block roads as they continue to protest against the judicial overhaul bill. Fighting between the Sudanese army and paramilitary group continues in the conflict-ridden Sudanese capital. Now, after the Silicon Valley Bank, trouble is mounting for another American bank. PacWest Bancorp is in talks with potential partners and investors about strategic options and shares of the Los Angeles-based lender, and several other US regional banks tumbled amidst fears of a worsening banking crisis.
The banking crisis in the United States looks far from over. Now, Los Angeles-based bank holding company PacWest Bancorp is exploring strategic options including a sale or capital raising, sparking concerns about a possible collapse. This sends shares of the bank as well as several other US regional lenders, including Western Alliance Bancorp, tumbling. According to reports, PacWest is hoping to avoid the fate of other regional lenders that were taken over by US regulators in the last 2 months. It aims to proactively find a solution that bolsters its finances. Adding fuel to the fire is the fact it raised $1.4 billion from investment firm Atlas SP Partners in the late March. If it collapsed, it would be fourth American bank to shut its shop in the span of 3 months. Days before, it was Republic First which had handed over all its assets to JP Morgan Chase. Previously, country's second largest Silicon Valley bank failed to manage itself in the market, followed by Signature Bank. But the US president has once again reiterated banking system and said it is safe and sound.
Before we start, I'm pleased to say that the regulators have taken action to facilitate the sale of First Republic Bank and ensure that all depositors are protected and the taxpayers are not on the hook. These actions are going to make sure that the banking system is safe and sound, and that includes protecting small businesses across the country who need to make payroll for workers and their small businesses. And so let me be very clear. While depositors are being protected, shareholders are losing their investments. And critically, taxpayers are not the ones that are on the hook, as I said earlier.
Others are raising questions.
There ought to be a negotiation, but first there should be agreement on raising the debt ceiling. These debts are owed. They are unavoidable. There's no negotiating out of them unless the United States of America, in effect, declares bankruptcy. A great nation like the United States shouldn't even be considering a default. So I think there is room for negotiation. I've repeatedly said that the president should sit down with congressional leaders. Now he's doing so. Glad to see it. But the negotiation ought to be about the budget after we agree to avoid default.
For now, it is a chaotic situation in the US banking system. Agency report, Republic TV.
Now, after Russia claimed it had foiled an attack by the Ukrainian drones on the Kremlin, Dmitry Peskov told reporters that the attack was plotted in Washington.
After Russia claimed it foiled an attack by Ukrainian drones on the Kremlin, Dmitry Peskov told reporters that the attack was plotted in Washington.
Собственно, мы знаем, что зачастую даже сами цели определяет не Киев, а их определяют в Вашингтоне и потом доводят эти цели до Киева с тем, чтобы Киев исполнял. Не каждый раз Киеву дают и право в выборе средств. Это тоже зачастую диктуют из-за океана. Мы это хорошо знаем и отдаем себе в этом отчет.
The US National Security Council spokesman said Kremlin accusations were lies.
One thing I can tell you for certain is that the United States was not involved in this incident in any way contrary to Mr. Peskov's lies. And that's what they are, just lies.
Meanwhile, China has called on all parties to avoid taking actions that will escalate the situation.
我们注意到有关报道，中方关于乌克兰危机的立场是一贯和明确的，各方应避免采取任何可能使局势进一步升级的行动。
Putin is continuing businesses and held a meeting to discuss Russia's economy. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian president made an unannounced visit to the International Criminal Court.
The one who deserves to be sentenced for these criminal actions right here in the capital of the international law. And I'm sure we will see that happen when we win. And we will win. And when we win not just on the battlefield, not just against this aggression.
And now, Russia's possible retaliation has put the world on alert. Agency report, Republic TV.
Now, Israelis blocked roads and demonstrated Thursday against a contentious government plan to overhaul the judiciary.
Israelis blocked roads and demonstrated on Thursday against a contentious government plan to overhaul the judiciary. The protesters hope ramp up on pressure on lawmakers after Parliament reconvened this week following a month-long recess. While Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu passed the overhaul in March, mistrust persists among the protesters.
We came here today to Bnei Brak to talk with our brothers, the ultra-Orthodox, and to let them know that we love them, but we think they should participate in the Israeli community, at least in terms of giving back to the society, if not going to the military to do a meaningful service, then at least to go and do some work for the society.
Dozens of protesters under a sea of Israeli flags choked off major roads and intersections in seaside Tel Aviv. Police said one of the protesters were arrested for causing disturbances. The plan to overhaul the country's judiciary has plunged Israel into one of its worst domestic crises.
אני עושה מה שאני מאמין בו. לא יצליחו לשכנע אותי. זה סתם פרובוקציה, זה סתם לעשות בלגן.
Opponents say it would upset Israel's delicate system of checks and balances and imperil its democratic fundamentals.
יש לנו מדינה אחת, היא יקרה וחשובה לכל אזרחי ישראל. יש בינינו גם ויכוח יסודי בעניין הרפורמה המשפטית, אבל אנחנו עושים מאמץ לפתור את הוויכוח הזה בהידברות. עכשיו, אני מאמין שברצון טוב של שני הצדדים, אני משוכנע שאפשר להשיג הסכמות, ואני נותן לכך גיבוי מלא.
The talks underway meant to forge a path out of the crisis, which does not appear to have produced any results. Agency report, Republic TV.
And here's a look at the top international news this morning. 5 teachers and 2 labourers were gunned down Thursday at a school in northwest Pakistan in an attack linked to the Sunni-Shiite sectarian tensions. According to police and government officials, the attack came after a man from the Sunni sect of Islam was killed in his car earlier in the day. Amid heightened security, Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan on Thursday appeared in person before a court here which resumed the hearing on his petition in 7 different cases. Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party shared a video on Twitter showing the 70-year-old former cricketer politician's car surrounded by his supporters, making its way through tight security to reach the entrance of the Islamabad High Court. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is now optimistic about the country's chances of joining the North Atlantic Treaty Organization amid war with Russia. During an address after a meeting with Dutch and Belgian Prime Ministers Mark Rutte and Alexander De Croo, he said that they are realistic and hence will not be in the NATO during the war. The Ukrainian President Zelensky on Thursday visited the International Criminal Court at The Hague, which in March had issued an arrest warrant for the Russian President Vladimir Putin for alleged deportation of children from Ukraine. Ukraine fighters and troops prepared by their commander of their assault infantry squad contains multiple elements. Moved through thick woodlands using only the compass, fly drones inconspicuously to uncover exact enemy coordinates, and once these are passed to the artillery unit, dive in for the assault. A large fire tore through the street market in Haiti early Thursday, consuming thousands of dollars worth of goods as vendors wailed over their losses. Vendors began arriving before sunrise to try and quell the flames, throwing bucketfuls of sand on blazing zinc roofs as firefighters soon arrived. It wasn't immediately clear what caused the fire. Brazilian police Wednesday raided former President Jair Bolsonaro's home, arrested his trusted aides and seized his cell phone as part of the probe into his COVID-19 vaccination records. Fighting between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary group known as the Rapid Support Forces continued Thursday. Black smoke rose from buildings in Khartoum following airstrikes and artillery fire by the Sudanese army. The conflict has so far killed 550 people, including civilians, and wounded more than 4,900. Israelis blocked roads and demonstrated Thursday against a contentious government plan to overhaul the judiciary, hoping to ramp up pressure on the lawmakers after Parliament reconvened this week following a month-long recess. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has paused the overhaul in March after intense pressure and the opposing sides trying to reach a compromise agreement. 8 people died in an overnight fire in the second largest city of the Czech Republic. The fire broke out about 2 hours after midnight in Brno, located about 200 kilometers southwest of Prague. Police and firefighters are investigating the cause of the blaze. You are with Republic, and coming up next on the Morning Express, the UK is gearing up for King Charles III's coronation after 70 years. And fighting between the Sudanese army and paramilitary group continues in the conflict-ridden Sudanese capital.
तो एक हिसाब से आप सबका स्वागत है बुद्ध बनने के लिए। भले आसपास कुछ भी गड़बड़ी हो जाए, भीतर की शांति जो है वो हिलती नहीं है।
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who were members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into the Congress fold?
They have their own experience, well-matured people, 6-time MLA, former Chief Minister, former Deputy Chief Minister. They know, you and I also know about the history of RSS. We believe in different ideology. So he also thought that now we have to go for a change. It is earlier RSS may be different, now RSS may be different.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who are members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
You do still have the aspirations of being a chief minister, which almost every leader of who spent so much time in public life would have that expectation. Why is it so wrong for you to admit the fact that yes, you have that kind of expectation?
Who said I don't have any aspiration? I am a politician, I am not a sannyasi, but my duty is to bring Congress Party to power. And the party high command will decide on a democratic political process.
For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into the Congress fold?
They have their own experience, well-matured people, 6-time MLA, former Chief Minister, former Deputy Chief Minister. They know, you and I also know about the history of RSS. We believe in different ideology. So he also thought that now we have to go for a change. It is earlier RSS may be different, now RSS may be different.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who are members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken. You
do still have the aspirations of being a chief minister, which almost every leader of who spent so much time in public life would have that expectation. Why is it so wrong for you to admit the fact that yes, you have that kind of expectation?
Who said I don't have any aspiration? I am a politician, I am not a sannyasi, but my duty is to bring Congress Party to power.
Welcome back. You are watching Republic TV. Now, after more than 2 weeks of fighting, Sudan continues to be on the boil. Areas of the capital of Khartoum appear increasingly abandoned, with smoke billowing out of some places and the sound of intermittent gunshots. Now, the fighting continued in and around Sudan's capital despite several attempts at a truce.
In Sudan, the situation remains tense. The fighting between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary group continued in capital Khartoum. Watch how thick plumes of smoke rose from the damaged building, following airstrikes and artillery fire by the Sudanese army. And each day, millions of Sudanese faces terrifying choices of how to survive, stay hiding at home, or make a run for it. Risking the mayhem that killed 550 people, including civilians, and wounded more than 4,900, many are hoping to be evacuated. The fighting has displaced at least 334,000 people inside Sudan and sent tens of thousands more to the neighboring countries. Agency Report, Republic TV.
Well, the stage is set for the coronation of King Charles III. King Charles will be crowned at Westminster Abbey in a ceremony full of pomp, pageantry, solemn religious significance on Saturday, that's tomorrow, as he becomes the monarch of the United Kingdom and 14 other realms on the death of his mother, the Queen. Queen Elizabeth in September. Now, countrywide celebrations, including parades, will be organised over the coronation weekend, during which the 74-year-old monarch will officially be crowned in a grand ceremony, which is being held after 70 years. Troops have been prepared for the biggest military procession as well.
The crown has been resized. The troops are prepared for the biggest military procession in 70 years. The Gold State coach is ready to roll. Security is at its peak. And it is showtime. In an event full of all the pageantry Britain can muster, King Charles III will be crowned on Saturday at Westminster Abbey. As Great Britain's royal family turns the page on a new chapter with the coronation of King Charles III. And 2 days ahead of the royal coronation, King Charles III attended a coronation rehearsal at the Westminster Abbey. While the Japan's Crown Prince Akishino and his wife, Crown Princess Kiko, left to attend the coronation of King Charles III. Several campers have taken the position and more are expected to join.
To be honest, just like, why not? This is like a party in the street. I feel like this is a really cool time for people to come together, and it's just gonna be fun, I think. So when else can I say that I camped in the street outside the Buckingham Palace? I think that's just something I needed to tick off the list. So
I'm camping out because it's once in a lifetime opportunity, which most of us will probably never see again. The few people what have seen a coronation previous will most probably never see another one after this.
I just love everything to do with the monarchy. I think there's very few countries now that marry and combine military aspects, the church, divine right to rule is fading because we're more...
UK troops conducted a late-night coronation rehearsal with more than 7,000 members of the armed forces. And in a first, the ceremony will also include female bishops. Enrobed clergymen will hand over the medieval symbols of power, the rod, the scepter and the orb. And the new king and queen will presumably end the day on the balcony of Buckingham Palace to wave to the cheering crowds. Agency Report, Republic TV.
Well, singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran has won the Thinking Out Loud copyright case. A Manhattan jury determined that the British singer-songwriter did not wrongfully copy compositional elements or melodies from Let's Get It On. The jury found that Sheeran independently created his song.
A jury has concluded that British singer Ed Sheeran's hit song Thinking Out Loud did not copy key components of Marvin Gaye's classic tune Let's Get It On.
I think the ruling today proves exactly what it said. Ed Sheeran and Amy Lodge independently created Thinking Out Loud. They didn't copy anybody. There was no similarity between the songs, and that's not going to change in any other case involving those songs.
We spent the last 8 years talking about 2 songs with dramatically different lyrics, melodies, and 4 chords which are also different and used by songwriters every day all over the world. These chords are common building blocks which were used to create music long before Let's Get It On was written, and will be used to make music long after we are all gone. They are in a songwriter's alphabet, our toolkit, and should be there for all of us to use. No one owns them, or the way they are played, in the same way that nobody owns the colour blue. Unfortunately, unfounded claims like this are being fueled by individuals who are offered as music experts in musical analysis.
Ed's lawyer, Ilian Farkas, told the jurors that similarities in the chord progressions and rhythm of the 2 songs were the letters of the alphabet of the music. The verdict came after a 2-week trial that featured a courtroom performance by Sheeran. The singer insisted that the copyright claim was a threat to all musicians who write their own songs. Ed Sheeran had said he would give up his musical career if found guilty at the trial in New York. Ed Sheeran was sued by the heirs of the songwriter Ed Townsend, who created the 1973 soul classic with Gay. When Sheeran heard the jury's decision, he briefly put his hands over his face in relief. Sheeran is also facing claims over Thinking Out Loud for company owned by investment banker David Pullman that holds copyright interests in the Gay song.
And at the same time,
in 2015, Gay's heirs won a $5.3 million judgment from a lawsuit claiming the Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams song Blurred Lines copied Gay's Got to Give It Up. Agency report, Republic TV.
You are watching Republic TV. That's all we have time for on the Morning Express, but still to come on Live and Breaking. Karnataka will be the focus throughout Live and Breaking today as political parties are in the final lap of campaigning. With Sergei Lavrov and Kim Gang in presence, all eyes will be on the big SCO summit in Goa.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who were members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
You do still have the aspirations of being a chief minister, which almost every leader who spent so much time in public life would have that expectation. Why is it so wrong for you to admit the fact that yes, you have that kind of expectation?
Who said I don't have any aspiration? I'm a politician, I'm not a sannyasi, but my duty is to bring Congress Party to power. And the party high command will decide on a democratic political process.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who were members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into the Congress fold?
They have their own experience, well-matured people, 6-time MLA, former Chief Minister, former Deputy Chief Minister. They know, you and I also know about the history of RSS. We believe in different ideology. So he also thought that now we have to go for a change. It is earlier RSS may be different, now RSS may be different.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who were members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken. You
do still have the aspirations of being a chief minister, which almost every leader who spent so much time in public life would have that expectation. Why is it so wrong for you to admit the fact that yes, you have that kind of expectation?
Who said I don't have any aspiration? I'm a politician, I'm not a sannyasi, but my duty is to bring Congress Party to power. And the party high command will decide on a democratic political process.
For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into the Congress fold?
They have their own experience, well-matured people, 6-time MLA, former Chief Minister, former Deputy Chief Minister. They know, you and I also know about the history of RSS. We believe in different ideology. So he also thought that now we have to go for a change. It is earlier RSS may be different, now RSS may be different.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who are members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in
BJP goes all out as campaigning enters final stage in poll-bound Karnataka. Prime Minister set to address mega rallies today. Yet another controversy hits Vadra Congress. Leader says Bajrang Bali chants create Darka Mahal. Nationalist Congress Party set to choose its next chief. Ajit Pawar and Supriya Sule are the front-runners. Manipur government issues shoot-at-sight orders as situation continues to remain tense. With Sergei Lavrov and Kim Gang in attendance, all eyes on the big SCO summit, day 2 in Goa today. Hello and welcome for the day's first edition of Live and Breaking. I'm Rukma, you're watching Republic TV. In our top story, the two-day meeting of foreign ministers of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the SCO members, enters the second day today. The meet began yesterday and it was a huge success, as my colleague on the ground has been telling us. On the first day, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held meetings with his counterparts. He also met the SCO Secretary General Zhang Ming and appreciated his support for India's SCO presidency, adding that it is driven by commitment to secure the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Well, joining me live for all the details, External Affairs Minister yesterday laid down the key focus areas, which include startups, traditional medicine, youth empowerment, Buddhist heritage and science and technology. Today, the focus of the meeting is likely to be on countering terrorism, the situation of women in Afghanistan under the Taliban. And I hear that Suesha, my colleague on the ground, who's covering this entire big event that India is hosting, that India is chairing, the SCO foreign ministers meet, joining me from Goa, where all the action is. Suesha, very good morning to you. Yesterday, as we saw in that report, it was a very successful day. Now, today again, it's India's opportunity once again to set the narrative, to set the discourse, to interact with a major part of Eurasia. Take us through the agenda, as you know about, it's day 2, as the stage is set for day 2 of the SCO meet, foreign ministers meet.
Yes, absolutely. Nupur, so let's understand today's day 2 of the SCO meet, and today is when the main event finally begins. Before I take you through the schedule and what's really happening, let me also give you a sense of where I am. This is the media center. This is obviously Goa, so you see the setting right there, and right inside we'd be able to get all the updates as it is at about 10, and slightly before that when all the foreign ministers will be assembling, and they will be at the Taj, and we will be able to get all the pictures of who met whom, and how the ministers were greeted. Of course, a photo op session that will also take place, remarks by all the foreign ministers, and exactly all of that we will be updating for our viewers. So giving you a sense, it is at about 10 o'clock when all the foreign ministers and heads of delegation will arrive. That includes all the SCO members, Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and of course the director SCO RATS. Then there will be a group photo of all the foreign ministers. Then the meeting of the Council of Foreign Ministers will begin, where there will be opening remarks by FM of Kazakhstan, followed by China, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and then the SCO Secretary General. After this, of course, the meeting begins, and in the second half will be bilaterals that are also lined up. Let me also tell you that EM Jaishankar is expected to brief the media post 6 p.m. this evening. And most importantly, Nupur, as we got you details of what EM Jaishankar had tweeted of his meeting with Foreign Minister Qin Gang of China, where the LAC situation was also discussed between the two leaders. Let me tell you how China is now projecting this, as a statement has also been released by the Chinese side. That's where Qin Gang pointed out that the current situation on India-China border is generally stable, stable being the operative word. The Indian side hopes to continue to seek to maintain peace and stability in the border area through consultations with the Chinese side. This is what had happened in the bilateral between both the sides, where, remember, EM Jaishankar had also put out that tweet where he had said that among the host of issues that were discussed between the two sides, LAC also was a very important point. And then, of course, apart from interest of common, common interest between both the countries and SCO, G20 and all of that was discussed. It was also LAC that found a mention, and Chinese side saying that the situation is generally stable. So that is what we are getting you this morning as preparations are underway. Remember, at about 10 o'clock, like I'm saying, in about an hour from now, is when the Council of Foreign Ministers will all be getting together, a photo op session that will take place, followed by the meeting of the foreign ministers that will pave the way for the SCO summit that is all set to take place on the 3rd and 4th of July in the national capital. This, of course, is a precursor to that, where first the national security advisors of the SCO member countries had met, followed by the defense ministers, then the foreign ministers, and finally paving the agenda for what happens in July on the 3rd and 4th.
Right, Suesha, and that's the breaking news that we are showing our viewers right now about the release of the statement by China. China releasing that statement after talks with India's foreign minister. And I'd like to quote that statement that you quoted just a while earlier, Suesha, about Qin Gang pointing out that the current situation on India-China border is generally stable. A very positive statement there, but when we look at, this entire SCO and how it's known as a very China-heavy, China-heavy organization, well, what China says and what the actual situation is. Earlier to China had said that there are areas that can be considered for engagement, for discussion, that, leaving aside the border issue. But India has always insisted that it cannot happen that way. In that sense, if you could take us through what this statement, how India will be looking at this statement, and also very briefly, well, we are also, this SCO Foreign Ministers meet is also marked by the presence of the Pakistan Foreign Minister. That's another very significant event that India is looking
this is
at.
Exactly.
So, Suesha, over to you.
This is exactly what I wanted to point out, Nupur, that, we understand how China's pattern has really been between the statements that are made and indicative of the actions at the LAC. So then again, it is important to point out that this is the picture from the Chinese side and what they are trying to project. Then again, it really, is a point to see to how, these statements eventually have an impact on what really happens at the LAC. But let me also point out that, you're talking about Bilawal Bhutto and the Pakistan delegation being present in person for this foreign ministers meet, which has been one of the biggest talking points because usually it has always been a virtual presence. Of course, there is no bilateral that has taken place between India and Pakistan at the SCO foreign ministers meet. But then again, when it comes to both Russia and China holding those bilaterals, these were very, very key issues that were discussed, and they used this opportunity because let's understand that India is the host country. So it is really up to their foreign ministers also to the kind of issues they bring up with our minister and, what really is discussed from there on. So China and Russia, yes, did use this opportunity to discuss, which of course was quite indicative when it came to Pakistan and, of all that was being spoken in terms of, whether they'll have a bilateral, if they will discuss, what they will discuss, will Kashmir figure on the agenda and all of that. So yes, and let me quickly point out, as the Chinese side is putting this out, they're saying that the current situation on the China-India border is generally stable. The two sides should continue to implement the important consensus reached by the leaders of the two countries, consolidate existing achievements, strictly abide by relevant agreements, and promote the further cooling and easing of the border situation and maintain sustainable peace and tranquility in the border areas. Also, Kin Gang saying that China supports India in hosting the SCO summit and hopes that India, as the rotating presidency, will play an active role in making the summit a success in the spirit of unity and cooperation. So that is the statement coming in from the Chinese side. This is the latest from the SCO foreign ministers meet. But again, really to wait and watch what eventually happens. For the moment, Nupur, these are the updates coming in at about 9 o'clock, 9:10, I'd say, on the watch this morning, as we are gearing up for the big SCO foreign ministers meet to begin at about 10 a.m. I beg your pardon. And let me also give you a sense, because I did go to the Taj, that is the actual venue. The entire area has been cordoned off for obvious reasons. There is heavy security deployment, and in fact, post afternoon, there will also be, that is post noon, I beg your pardon, there'll be 144 that will be imposed. So, nobody's really around to be in that area, but we will be getting you all the updates of the Council of Foreign Ministers meet, the ministers meeting with each other, and how, what really happens from there on in terms of how they greet each other, and the big takeaways as 15 key decisions. Remember, 15 decisions are to be made through this summit, where agreements are to be signed upon, and most importantly, this obviously it is slightly empty right now, but let me also give you a glimpse of what's going to happen this evening, where it is this very place where EAM Jaishankar will be briefing all of us, giving us the lowdown on the SCO foreign ministers meet and what we can expect will happen on the 3rd and 4th of July, when the big SCO summit is.
Many thanks. Right, Suesha, well, many thanks, and of course we'll be back with you at regular intervals for all the updates. It's day 2 of the all-important SCO foreign ministers meet today, and 15 decisions are likely to be taken, a proposal to be chalked out for areas that are of concern to all who are members of the SCO for the next meeting, which is scheduled for the month of July. And let's go on now to take a look at other top stories that we're tracking. A committee formed by former NCP chief Sharad Pawar will decide the next party chief in a meeting that will take place at 11 a.m. at the party office in Mumbai. In a bid to unite the opposition for the next year's Lok Sabha polls, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar expected to meet his Odisha and Jharkhand counterparts today, Naveen Patnaik and Hemant Soren. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath set to launch a second phase of vigorous civic poll exercise of 4 public meetings for the May 11th mayoral elections. And West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee maintains she will never allow implementation of the National Register of Citizens or the NRC in West Bengal. Day 2 of the SCO meeting all set to unfold in Goa as member states deliberate on proposals concerning counter-terrorism, situation of women and girls in Taliban's Afghanistan, regional security, among others. And following the issues that arose over the Kerala story, the controversial film is all set to release in theatres today after a plea to stop the movie being screened was dismissed by the Apex Court. However, some theatres in Kerala have still cancelled the screening of Kerala story. Cancellation messages were received by those who booked tickets. Official reason for cancellation is still awaited. The movie releases today. And 2 days after gangster Tillu Tajpuria was stabbed to death by 4 rival gang members inside Tihar jail, a video has emerged in social media showing how the gruesome attack was executed. The video captured by a CCTV camera inside the high security jail shows the attackers descending from the first floor, clinging to bed sheets, using them as ropes, and then barging into Tajpuria's cell on the ground floor to attack him. Breaking news coming in from Australia in yet another Khalistani provocation. In Sydney this time, the Swaminarayan temple there in Sydney was vandalized. As you can see, viewers, in those visuals, vandalized by clearly Khalistani slogans there. The Swaminarayan temple in Western Sydney's Rose Hill suburb was vandalized by supporters of the idea of Khalistan. Clearly, it has Khalistani slogans there. The temple has been desecrated just weeks after India raised the issue with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. And joining me is senior editor of from Australia, Jay Bharadwaj, who is the editor of Australia Today. A very good morning to you, Mr. Bharadwaj. Well, it's another incident of vandalization of an Indian temple, of the Swaminarayan temple in Sydney this time around. Your perspective, if you could tell our viewers about what's really going on and is any action being taken by the authorities?
See, this is very clear case of Hindu hate by these Khalistan goons, if we can call them so. Why any other building is not vandalized or targeted by these Khalistanis? If they want to make a political point or they have a political view, they can go anywhere and do whatever they want to do. However, they come back to Hindu temples, they vandalize, attack them, and showcase their Hindu hate on the walls of temples, may that be Melbourne, may that be Brisbane, or now in Sydney. These communities, these Hindu communities, especially the Baptist Swaminarayan communities, are very, very, very peaceful. I mean, they don't harm even the insects. You can think how their understanding is of humans. So the respect for every living being is highest for them. Now these Khalistani goons come in the night, vandalize their temples. They want to instill the fear in the minds of the devotees who attend these temples that you are not safe. If you visit these temples, then you have to abide by the rules or the whatever terms these Khalistanis are trying to draw. So this is the message by what they have done last night. I'm told that it was done between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Now comes the authorities. New South Wales authorities have kind of taken prompt action. At least for now, New South Wales police has arrived on the scene very quickly. 7 a.m. around, they were called and they came within minutes there, and I have collected CCTV footage from temple authorities. One of the member of parliament has also arrived at temple, and he told us that this act is not acceptable in this time and age. In Australia, every religious place should be sacred, and nobody should be allowed to behave the way Khalistani goons have allowed. Now, there is one more aspect to this attack, which is different from the previous one. We were time and again were asked that how do you know these acts are done by Khalistanis? This time, Khalistani goons have not left any doubt right now. They have put their flag on the gates of this Swaminarayan temple and have declared that we are the people who have done it, and do whatever you can do. We are not afraid of police authorities. That's what this statement, this slogan written, Hindu hate written on these walls is telling us. I don't know what action will be taken, but if we see in the past in state of Victoria, Melbourne, it took police 42 days to release the pictures of the goons who have attacked Hindus. So this kind of apathy is a kind of putting anger, dismay into Hindu community here in, may it be New South Wales or Queensland or Victoria.
Well, many thanks, Jay Bharadwaj, for joining us there and for putting that into perspective. So, well, a huge shocker from Sydney this time around in Australia. It's another incident of vandalization, and as our guest just told us from Australia, that's Jay Bharadwaj, editor of Australia Today, that it's the Khalistanis have clearly taken responsibility for this act of vandalism because they've painted their flag on the walls of this Swaminarayan temple in Sydney. Many thanks, Jay Bharadwaj, once again. And coming up, BJP goes all out as campaigning enters final stage in Karnataka. Prime Minister set to address mega rallies. Also, Manipur government issues shoot-at-sight orders as situation continues to remain tense in the state.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
तो एक हिसाब से आप सबका स्वागत है बुद्ध बनने के लिए। और जब उस अवस्था का अनुभव होता है तो आपके भीतर शांति ही होती है। भले आसपास कुछ भी गड़बड़ी हो जाए, भीतर की शांति जो है वो हिलती नहीं है। ऐसा क्या है जो भगवान गौतम बुद्ध उन्होंने अनुभव किया और हम नहीं कर पाए?
You do still have the aspirations of being a chief minister, which almost every leader who spent so much time in public life would have that expectation. Why is it so wrong for you to admit the fact that yes, you have that kind of expectation?
Who said I don't have any aspiration? I'm a politician, I'm not a sannyasi, but my duty is to bring Congress Party to power. And the party high command will decide on a democratic political process.
For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into the Congress fold?
They have their own experience, well-matured people, 6-time MLA, former Chief Minister, former Deputy Chief Minister. They know, you and I also know about the history of RSS. We believe in different ideology. So he also thought that now we have to go for a change. It is earlier RSS may be different, now RSS may be different.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who were members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
You do still have the aspirations of being a chief minister, which almost every leader who spent so much time in public life would have that expectation. Why is it so wrong for you to admit the fact that yes, you have that kind of expectation?
Who said I don't have any aspiration? I am a politician, I am not a sannyasi, but my duty is to bring Congress Party to power. And the party high command will decide on a democratic political process.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who were members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into?
Look at some international news stories now as well, there's a video of a drone flying over Kiev. Ukraine's military has said it has taken down one of its own drones that had lost control over the capital. But at least one other drone was reportedly shot down in another area of the city, and it was not clear whether it was Russian or also Ukrainian. Also, about 250 residents were evacuated Thursday from the slopes of Guatemala's volcano of fire as red-hot rock and ash flowed down toward an area already devastated by a deadly 2018 eruption. Firefighters said residents of the hamlet of Panimache were taken to shelters. Footage showed police blocking roads toward the volcano and first responders arriving. And more than 1,700 people fleeing fighting in Sudan arrived Thursday in the Saudi port city of Jeddah. Saudi Arabia has been ferrying evacuees across the Red Sea from Port of Sudan to Jeddah since the conflict began on April 15th. 33 nationalities, including one Saudi, were on board the ship. And coming up, yet another controversy hits Vadra Congress. Leader says Bajrang Bali chants create Dar ka Mahol.
तो एक हिसाब से आप सबका स्वागत है बुद्ध बनने के लिए। और जब उस अवस्था का अनुभव होता है तो आपके भीतर शांति ही होती है। भले आसपास कुछ भी गड़बड़ी हो जाए, भीतर की शांति जो है वो हिलती नहीं है।
For For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into the Congress fold?
They have their own experience, well-matured people, 6-time MLA, former Chief Minister, former Deputy Chief Minister. They know, you and I also know about the history of RSS. We believe in different ideology. So he also thought that now we have to go for a change. It is earlier RSS may be different, now RSS may be different.
Popular Front of India that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who were members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
You do still have the aspirations of being a chief minister, which almost every leader who spent so much time in public life would have that expectation. Why is it so wrong for you to admit the fact that yes, you have that kind of expectation?
Who said I don't have any aspiration? I am a politician, I am not a sannyasi, but my duty is to bring Congress Party to power. And the party high command will decide on a democratic political process.
For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into the Congress fold?
They have their own experience, well-matured people, 6-time MLA, former Chief Minister, former Deputy Chief Minister. They know, you and I also know about the history of RSS.
Good morning. This is live and breaking on Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar. So our focus over the next 1 hour, of course, continues to remain on Karnataka, where campaigning is in its final leg. Also, we will be bringing you an exclusive interview of Jagdish Shettar in just a bit. The headlines now. The BJP goes all out as campaigning enters its final stage. The Prime Minister set to address mega rallies. Another controversy hits the Congress leader, says Bajrang Bali chants create dar ka mahal. The NCP is set to choose its next chief. Ajit Pawar and Supriya Sule are the front runners. The Manipur government issues shoot-at-sight orders as the situation continues to remain tense. With Sergei Lavrov and Kin Gang in presence, all eyes are on the big SCO summit in Goa. Now, even as campaigning enters its final leg in Karnataka, the Congress appears to be divided on the Bajrang Dal controversy. After the senior Congress leader Veerappai Moily, now Jagdish Shettar has also said that banning an organization is not the subject that falls within the purview of the state government.
It is a hurt to me. Simply they told ticket will be denied. Ticket is denied. And in charge of the party election, he telephoned me 1 day before. He told Jagdish Shettar, your party has denied the ticket. Second sentence, you immediately give the statement that I am going to retire from the politics. And lastly, he told I will send the one model letter. You sign it. It has hurted me. Being as a 30 years old, 6-time MLA, ex-CM, 2 times leader of opposition, from Sangha Parivar I came here in politics, ABAP activist, and they take it as Jagdish Shettar as a granted. Ticket is granted. I am very much hurt by this. My self-respect is hurted. That purpose, I asked the reasons, they are not given the reasons. So this is the main reasons. And criminal background people have been given ticket. one person, he is contesting against Priyanka Karge. He is having 80 cases, criminal cases. He is a roadie sheeter. He has been given ticket. Some 6 ministers who are having a CD cases, and they have taken the stay order from the court. They are given the tickets. So many corrupt people are there. They are given a ticket. Why Shetter is denied? I don't know. According to some षड्यंत्र is there that if 7 times I elected from this constituency, from BJP, I will be the senior most leader in the BJP.
You will be the first and foremost face for the CM. As you think that you will be in the first position. That was that you if you are elected this time as well. That was the thing behind it.
Also, some people have conspired against me, and I told to the national leaders that I am not aspirant for the CM post. I am not aspirant for the minister post. Any power. I want to serve to the people. Last leg of the politics as a MLA to serve to the people.
Mr. Shettar, we understand you were angry. You thought your respect was quashed by the party. But why join Congress? Because you have been asking vote for BJP from past this many elections. Since 1994, you have been asking your voters to vote for BJP. This time when you go on ground, you are asking your voters to vote for Congress. Why not stand independent instead of joining Congress? What was the motive behind joining the Congress party?
Only thing is that my advisors told me, that you were in the national party, you must be in the national party, another national party. Here in the national level, in Karnataka, only 2 national parties, one BJP, one Congress. So as per advice of the well-wishers, I joined the Congress party, and for the any person, party position, party power and individual power, that counts for winning the race. Here, Congress is having a very good position in Karnataka, and if I and Congress joined, definitely it will be helpful for the winning.
Mr. Shettar, what's the scenario like when you go on field, ask your voters to vote for Congress? Do your voters believe you? They understand your position? They understand that you were angry and therefore you switched the side? What is the situation like on ground? Do you feel for once embarrassed that now you are asking them to vote for Congress?
Definitely, that feeling is earlier, it is there. But my work is there in Hubli Dharwad, pro-development works, and helping to the public. Last 25 years as a MLA, I helped a lot to the public, and there is a heart-to-heart connection to my public. Public likes me, and they respect me, and even they, in so many occasions, when I went to the field, they told, Mr. Shettar, wherever in your party, we likense you, your personality, your conduct, and we will vote for the Jagdish Shettar.
Okay. And now, since you are voting, since you are doing you are in the last leg of the election campaign in Karnataka, we're also hearing that Mrs. Sonia Gandhi is supposed to come here on 6th of May and is going to ask to voters to vote for you in this Hubli Dharwad area. And simultaneously on 6th May, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also having a rally in Bengaluru. A massive road show is planned. These both things are clashing on the same day. What do you think? What's in the mind of voters? What do you sense?
No. Prime Minister Modi ji is touring and campaigning for the BJP. It is part of BJP's agenda. And Sonia Gandhi ji, for the Congress candidates, they are touring here in Hubli. It is just natural process. No speciality is there. No any importance is given. Only they are both the leaders are campaigning for their parties, their candidates. It is natural process.
Do you think Mrs. Sonia Gandhi coming here and campaigning for you is going to change the scenario over here? Is going to make you a more in a strong position in Hubli Dharwad?
Definitely, national leaders comes and campaign. It will definitely change the atmosphere, and already atmosphere is created in this region and even North Karnataka region. Congress is gaining day by day. BJP is diminishing day by day. And after the visit of the Sonia Gandhi ji to here, Hubli also. Again, it is gain for the Congress Party.
One thing I also want to know, why did you call that Mahesh Tengankai, the candidate who is standing from the side of BJP from this area, why did you say that he is the Manas Putra of B.L. Santosh? We saw you quoting it.
Because of personal interest of B.L. Santosh. It is all, things are worse done. Last time, he is a Manas Putra of the B.L. Santosh. Last time, he has, because of his interest, he has been given ticket to the Kalgati constituency, neighboring constituency, where he has been given B form. He filled the B form and filed a nomination also. But public opinion is against him. So public started agitation in favor of Nimbanur, sitting MLA. After looking into the mind of the people, High Command has changed the senior area and given C form to the Nimbanur. He elected as a BJP candidate last occasion, 30,000 lead. What is the trend? Now, where he have to give one ticket, it is a ready-made seat. I cultivated here, I organized here in Central. Before 94, whoever the BJP candidate here in my constituency, they lost the deposit. I organized a party and for 6 consecutive elections, I got elected. So it is a ready-made food for the his Manas Putra. For their purpose, he selected this constituency, and for their selfish interest, it's all happenings, all these rumblings have been caused, and it is definitely downfall of the BJP.
So that means you have no problem with the top and central leadership of BJP. The entire problem you have was with the state leadership of BJP. And you think you still believe in the ideology of Amit Shah and Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi?
It is not a question of ideology of Modi ji and Amit Shah. Ideology of the party, what is the ideology of the BJP? Whether they continue to that ideology, if for the government formation, 17 MLAs from the Congress, they brought to the BJP. What is the ideology of 17 MLAs? What is the ideology of 17 MLAs? They violated the ideology of the Congress. They bring to the BJP. Whether it is ideology, and they give the ticket to the criminal background people, whether it is ideology, and they give the ticket to the 6 ministers who are facing CDs, they got stay from the court. Whether it is ideology, if your policy is 75 age limit, you have so many given 74, 75 age people, it is ideology. What is ideology? Ideology were left in the BJP. I want to ask, what is clean? Jagdish Shetty has a clean image, no black spot, no corruption charges. You are not giving importance to these people. You are giving importance to corrupt people. This is a basic problem of the BJP.
And therefore, there was one more interesting thing when, in the starting days of campaigning, when you were doing all the work from your office, come home, this entire residence, we saw the pictures of, Amit Shah and Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi in your office. Then many were stating that Jagdish Shetty is still like the top leadership. Is it like
I have no reservation against the number 1, number 2. I have no reservation. Because some people in Karnataka BJP, the party is under their clutches. There is no internal democracy in BJP Karnataka. They want, if you see in office, BJP state office, it is under clutches of some people. And and hardcore, whatever the workers are there. What is they are feeling? And usually, you media people know, number 1 position, CM, and number 1 position in party, state president, usually gives to the cadre. When Bommai, now present CM, he joined the party 12 years back, he is not from our cadre. He has been given same post. Whether it is ideology, agrees. His father, S.R. Bommai, he is a M.N. Roy follower. What is the philosophy of M.N. Roy? Whether BJP follows M.N. Roy's philosophy, it is under in Bommai, Basar Bommai is under influence of the M.N. Roy. Whether they will agree it further. What is the philosophy they are saying? Hardcore people, cadre people are very much unhappy with this changing of the CM. If you want to change the CM, Why Yediyurappa has been removed? He is from our cadre. After 2 years, why Yediyurappa has been removed? No answer. All these, because of in state BJP, everything is not good. Take it granted, everything.
Mr. Shetta, can we just walk a bit and look, see like what's the, your entire homecome office looks like? Okay, Mr. Shetta, then one more question. We saw HD Kumaraswamy quoting that B.L. Santosh, Prahlad Joshi, Nalin Katil, C.T. Ravi, they all want Peshwa Brahmins to come to power, to be in the #1 position. They want to sideline Lingayat. What's the truth in this?
No, I don't want to comment on Kumaraswamy's comments. What is the hidden agenda is to dependence on the Lingayat leaders, to avoid dependence on Lingayat leaders. So now I am the senior most leader in the BJP, senior most community leader also. So for that purpose, to avoid, cut down the sector, no leader is there, Lingayat leader in the BJP. That is the intention, hidden agenda. And other leaders are there. Number 2, second line, third line, 4 line leaders are there. But one sector is avoided, everything is finished. One Nalin Katil, state president, he is also close associate of B.L. Santosh. He told in the audio telephone with his friend, Yediyurappa's time is closed. Now next senior leaders, Ishwarappa and Jagdish Shetty. Within short period, their time will be closed. It is last 1 year back, he told, he even discussing with his friend, it is recorded. It is audio is linked, comes out, and he denied. He has given the complaint, but no result is there up till now. It is a true fact. What is B.L. Santosh mind is there, it is in the mind of Nalin Katil. This is a fact.
No, Mr. Shetta, as we know that Lingayat are the strong vote bank of BJP. Now when you have switched these sides, where this entire vote bank will go, will it divide, or you will not get the Lingayat votes, or the Lingayat votes entirely will go with BJP? What will be the situation?
Now situation is completely changing, and the Lingayat community people started disbelieving the BJP, and they think that Lingayat leaders have been sidelined here, and with taking the support of the community, they are ditching the community. This feeling is started, and almost every constituency, community people are joining the Congress. Congress is gaining.
You are very sure that Lingayat's vote will go with Congress this time?
Maximum community people are diverting to the Congress.
One question specifically on the banned Bajrang Dal controversy. Mr. Shetta, this issue has raked up in entire Karnataka. We are seeing protests happening. We are seeing Congress manifesto being burnt up. What you have to say, because your entire family is a hardcore Sanghi. You yourself are a hardcore Sanghi. You have come from that background where to enter Bajrang Dal, you have to take a route through Jansangh. What's your take on this entire?
That issue I don't want to discuss more. And in the party forum, I will discuss it in thorough. And yesterday, ex-CM, even senior Congress leader, Veerappa Moily clarified everything. And regarding banning any organization, it is not under the subject of the state government. It is only the power is with the union government. So, regarding that aspect, already Moily has clarified everything. I don't want to intervene in that issue.
But one thing, we are not going deeply in this issue, but I just wanted to ask you whether it's true. Do you feel that till now, before this issue, BJP's food plate was empty, Congress gave them something that the...
This is not a question of 1 day or 2 discussion is going on. But what is reality in the state, what is people are expecting? Price rise is there, corruption is there. All issues are going out to discuss. Only emotional issues, people will not like it.
What do you have to say on this 40% Sarkara, the corruption issues which have been raked up in Karnataka a lot?
No, corruption is there. Whether it is 40, 50, I don't know. Corruption is there. More corruption is there. Yes.
So One last question. How many seats are you expecting from this entire area? If you talk about Hubli Dharwad, the all constituency falling in it.
No entire this, I will say in the Karnataka, Congress is gaining. According to my experience, Congress will get the absolute majority and form the government.
Do you think there will be a slight possibility of fractured or hung assembly?
No, there is no hung or no fractured verdict. It is clear majority. Congress will get it.
So this Mr. Jagdish Shettar is speaking exclusively to Republic, where he have given all the insider and outside regarding the campaignings which are going on in Karnataka and about several issues regarding hit switching sides and the Lingayat votes, whether it will divide or will go with Congress or the entire Lingayat vote will go with BJP. This is Harsha Chandwani from Hubballi along with video journalist Sadanand reporting for Republic TV.
All right, let's now go across to Harsha over there. Harsha, when you were speaking to Jagdish Shettar, he did talk to you about, the internal rift within the BJP, which now at the moment at least seems to be pushed aside.
Exactly, Nupur. Now we see that the Jagdish Shettar, he was very angry, and that was the reason he chose the national party like Congress to contest from. And he clearly stated that I don't want it to stand independent. I wanted to stand from the national party itself. And this is the last time of mine that I'll be contesting from Hubli Dharwad. We can see, because yesterday we saw Prahlad Joshi stating that it was the organizational decision. But still we see that Jagdish Shettar is very angry over him not being given the ticket from the side of BJP. And he's very sure that this time the voters of him who have occasionally and eventually from continuously 6 times voted for Jagdish Shettar, they are going to vote for him from the side of Congress, because now he's asking them to vote for Congress. It is very hard to believe that the voters will now switch the side, but he's confident that the Lingayat vote will go with Jagdish Shettar. Back to you, Nupur.
Thank you for that. We are going to come back to you later. Let me go across very quickly to Prajwal. Prajwal, of course, there are preparations in place for the Prime Minister's rally that takes place tomorrow. But give us a sense of how, Bangalore is hoping to manage the crowds, because it is going to be, quite huge, and it's not a place that's known for its, sanitary traffic.
First and foremost now, today mainly Prime Minister Narendra Modi is addressing 2 rallies, one in Ballari rural and the second one in Tumkuru as well. And he's also looking to campaign in Ballari extensively because of the fact that this time around Gali Janardana Reddy, who was formerly with the BJP, and the mining baron who's been under the grilling from the CBI for several other illegal activities, has now fielded his wife also from Ballari and a few of his candidates across the entire districts of Ballari, largely concentrating on Ballari rural regions as well. And therefore today the Prime Minister has made it an essential part of his rally, where he will be addressing around 2 lakh people, after which he will be moving to Tumkuru rural, which is a bastion for the BJP in itself, which has huge Lingayat voters to consolidate the voting for the BJP party. And when it comes to the road shows which we are speaking in Bengaluru in itself, we are seeing that there will be 2 legs of the road shows, one on Saturday, that is tomorrow, and one on Sunday, which is on the 7th as well. And the BJP has made massive preparations too. And more of now, when we are looking at these road shows as well, they have been changed because of pressure from the political parties. But on that note, we will also quickly be slipping into a short break as we continue our live and rolling coverage of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's road show, and as to what he will be doing and which are the assembly constituencies he will be visiting from ground zero in Bengaluru, from the heart of Karnataka. Stay tuned.
तो एक हिसाब से आप सबका स्वागत है बुद्ध बनने के लिए। भले आसपास कुछ भी गड़बड़ी हो जाए, भीतर की शांति जो है वो हिलती नहीं है।
You do still have the aspirations of being a chief minister, which almost every leader who spent so much time in public life would have that expectation. Why is it so wrong for you to admit the fact that yes, you have that kind of expectation?
Who said I don't have any aspiration? I'm a politician, I'm not a sannyasi, but my duty is to bring Congress party to power. And the party high command will decide on a democratic political process.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who were members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into the Congress fold?
They have their own experience, well-matured people, 6-time MLA, former Chief Minister, former Deputy Chief Minister. They know, even I also know about the history of RSS. We believe in different ideology. So he also thought that now we have to go for a change. It is earlier RSS may be different, now RSS may be different.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who were members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
You do still have the aspirations of being a chief minister, which almost every leader who spent so much time in public life would have that expectation. Why is it so wrong for you to admit the fact that yes, you have that kind of expectation?
Who said I don't have any aspiration? I'm a politician, I'm not a sannyasi, but my duty is to bring Congress Party to power. And the party high command will decide on a democratic political process.
For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into the Congress fold?
They have their own experience, well-matured people, 6-time MLA, former Chief Minister, former Deputy Chief Minister. They know, even I also know about the history of RSS. We believe in different ideology. So he also thought that now we have to go for a change. It is earlier RSS may be different, now RSS may be different.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who were members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
Welcome back. Now, after more than 2 weeks of fighting, Sudan continues to be on the boil. Areas of the capital of Khartoum appear increasingly abandoned, with smoke bellowing out of places and sound of intermittent gunshots. The fighting continues despite attempts at a ceasefire.
In Sudan, the situation remains tense. The fighting between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary group continued in capital Khartoum. Watch how thick plumes of smoke rose from the damaged building, following airstrikes and artillery fire by the Sudanese army. And each day, millions of Sudanese faces terrifying choices of how to survive, stay hiding at home, or make a run for it. Risking the mayhem that killed 550 people, including civilians, and wounded more than 4,900, many are hoping to be evacuated. The fighting has displaced at least 334,000 people inside Sudan and sent tens of thousands more to the neighboring countries. Agency report, Republic TV.
You are with Republic TV, and still to come, yet another controversy hits the Congress Party. Leader says Bajrang Bali chants create dar ka mahal.
For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into the Congress fold?
They have their own experience, well-matured people, 6-time MLA, former Chief Minister, former Deputy Chief Minister. They know, you and I also know about the history of RSS. We believe in different ideology. So he also thought that now we have to go for a change. It is earlier RSS may be different, now RSS may be different.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who are members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
You do still have the aspirations of being a chief minister, which almost every leader who spent so much time in public life would have that expectation. Why is it so wrong for you to admit the fact that yes, you have that kind of expectation?
Who said I don't have any aspiration? I am a politician, I am not a sannyasi, but my duty is to bring Congress Party to power. And the party high command will decide on a democratic political process.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who are members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into the Congress fold?
They have their own experience, well-matured people, 6-time MLA, former Chief Minister, former Deputy Chief Minister. They know, you and I also know about the history of RSS. We believe in different ideology. So he also thought that now we have to go for a change. It is earlier RSS may be different, now RSS may be different.
Popular Front of India's that has been banned, founding members of the Popular Front of India who are members of SIMI, direct links when it comes to terror activities. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have any such evidence. How can you equate Bajrang Dal and the Popular Front of India?
Whoever tried to create disturbance in the public on peace, disharmony, communal harmony, action will be taken.
You do still have the aspirations of being a chief minister, which almost every leader who spent so much time in public life would have that expectation. Why is it so wrong for you to admit the fact that yes, you have that kind of expectation?
Who said I don't have any aspiration? I am a politician, I am not a sannyasi, but my duty is to bring Congress Party to power. And the party high command will decide on a democratic political process.
For your party, Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis keeps abusing the RSS. Why would you then take Jagdish Shettar into the Congress fold?
They have their own experience, well-matured people, 6-time.
The BJP goes all out as campaigning enters its final stage. The Prime Minister is set to address mega rallies today. Yet another controversy hits the Congress. Leader says Bajrang Bali chants create dar ka mahol. NCP set to choose its next chief. Ajit Pawar and Supriya Sule are the front runners. Manipur government issues Surat site orders as the situation continues to remain tense. With Sergei Lavrov and King Gang in presence, all eyes are on the big SCO summit meeting in Goa. Well, good morning and welcome back. You are with Live and Breaking on Republic TV. Now, the two-day meeting of the foreign ministers of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, that's the SCO, has now entered its second day. The meeting began yesterday. Now, on the first day, the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held meetings with his counterparts. These were bilateral meetings. Jaishankar also met the SCO Secretary General Zhang Ming and appreciated his support for India's SCO presidency and added that it is driven by commitment to secure the region. He laid down the key focus areas including startups, traditional medicine, youth empowerment, Buddhist heritage and science and technology. Today the focus of the meeting is likely to be on countering terrorism, the situation of women in Afghanistan under the Taliban and radicalization, the state of multilateral cooperation, and the progress of admitting Iran and Belarus as full members of the grouping will also be the focal points on day 2. Now, do remember that this meeting is extremely critical as India is hosting not just the Chinese and the Russian foreign ministers, but also the Pakistani foreign minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, who's on his maiden visit to the country. Pictures on your screen are coming to you live from the SCO meeting venue. That's Dr. Jaishankar over there, who is going to be hosting this particular meeting. Now, one of the key agendas of this meeting, of course, is going to be to prepare a draft resolution for the heads of states meeting that takes place in July. So that's going to be extremely crucial. Let me go across to Suesha. Now, Suesha, as I was earlier saying, one of the crucial things today, of course, will be to prepare at least a draft resolution or issues, that the heads of states can discuss and come to a conclusion in July. So give us a sense of the issues we are expecting to be covered. Suesha, can you hear me? All right, I don't think Suesha can quite hear me yet, but we'll try and fix that and go back to her in just a bit. But as I was saying, of course, key amongst the agenda today will be perhaps to be able to come out with a statement of intent, at least for the meeting that takes place in July. Do remember that it's not going to be a very easy thing for all these ministers to do, because essentially there are issues between each of these countries. For instance, of course, India and China have had a border issue which has been simmering for a while now, though both sides have said that they would like to meet each other face to face more often. I think I'm going to try and go back once again to Suesha. Suesha, if you can hear me, good morning. Suesha, as I was earlier saying, one of the key things that is going to be an agenda today is to be able to, at least for all these foreign ministers, prepare the ground for the meeting that takes place in July, to at least have a consensus on issues that these countries would like to touch upon that time. So give us a sense of what are the overarching issues that could find a mention for July.
Absolutely, Nupur. You rightly put that together, because it is really about paving the way for the summit in July, that is on 3rd and 4th, that is to be held in the national capital. And this is why first we saw the national security advisors of all the SCO member countries meet, then it was the defense ministers meet, and now it is the foreign ministers meeting. The main event, let me tell you once again, is today, and all the preparations have been made in Goa, where this 2-day event has been organized, really to understand, as India is very clear in its goal and is chairing the group right now, also the host, where the SCO Secretary General also stated how India has brought in a lot of positivity and given a whole new direction to the SCO, because this is the motto. Like you see, it is secure SCO, security, economy, connectivity, unity, respect, environment. So all these are the pressing issues that the SCO member countries are really looking at. Then again, we understand how 15 decisions are to be taken today, where in the later half we'll also see how a memorandum will be signed, and this will be the outcome that we will know. EM Jaishankar will also talk about this evening. Let's also understand that Belarus and Iran may also also be SCO members in the future, and a decision on that will be taken. But most importantly, how India has been leading the way and shown a keen interest in deepening security-related cooperation with the SCO. Also, the regional anti-terrorism structure, which specifically deals with issues relating to security and defense. So that is also something that needs a lot of attention. But really to say what has happened in these 2 days, where yesterday, of course, we were tracking all the bilateral meetings that India had with Russia, China and Uzbekistan. And today, again, a set of bilaterals that are lined up in the second half of the day. Yes, the Pakistan delegation that is here in person making their presence, but unlikely that a bilateral will take place between India and Pakistan. Also, when it comes to the issues that have been discussed, where it is the fight against terrorism, regional security, that is the focus. The memorandum that will be signed with the dialogue partners in the second half, and the meet that is set to begin any time now. It is already 10 o'clock. Slightly a little later is when a group photo will also come in, and we'll know of the handshakes. And quickly to take you through what's lined up now, there will be opening remarks by Kazakhstan, followed by China, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and then of course the SCO Secretary General who will speak.
Just to interrupt you for a minute, Suesha.
Foreign ministers who will arrive, congregate.
Suesha, just to interrupt you for a minute, pictures on your screen are of the SCO meeting that's taking place. That's Dr. Jaishankar over there welcoming all the delegates and the foreign ministers to the venue. The traditional namaskar has given way to a shaking of hands over there. That, of course, is Bilawal Bhutto Zardari on your screens, the Pakistani foreign minister who is on a maiden visit to India. Much, of course, is expected of this meeting. At least breaking of ice is something that is going to be hoped for. I'm going to go back very quickly to Suesha. Suesha, so pictures on our screens right now were of Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. Now, you know what's very interesting, Suesha, is that years ago, Pakistan coming to a meeting would have grabbed all the headlines. Everybody would have been talking about it. But, you know, it also is, in a sense, what's happening today shows how insignificant Pakistan has become in terms of being concerned really for India.
Nupur, it's not just that, it is also about Pakistan really gaining that importance and wanting to establish its presence that strongly. There you see pictures of Bilawal Bhutto, who is meeting with the EM Jaishankar, and you see that body language there, Nupur, that is of prime importance here, because here it is India playing host for all the SCO member countries, and very, very clear of what our agenda is and how we want to take the SCO forward. And while fully giving all the attention to all our guests who have come to our country to grace this occasion, but the body language there speaks for itself, because EM Jaishankar had made it amply clear, especially after the Pak link that was drawn in the Poonch attack, where he had said that, you know, a nation that engages and sponsors and encourages cross-border terrorism, we cannot have talks with such a nation, and we are hoping that someday they will honor their commitment, but until that day comes, this is really not possible. So that exactly is the position that India has taken, and there again we see, because back home also for the Pakistani delegation, where they had to face a lot of criticism of you know, having to agree to you know, come to India to attend this meet, because even their defense minister had marked a virtual presence and didn't really come to India for the defense minister's meet. So there they have continued to say that it is the charter of SCO that they are you know, honoring, and it is what they are committed to, and foreign policy is very important for them, and that is exactly what is their focus here, because let's also understand pressing issues that Pakistan is facing at this point when it comes to the political instability, economic crisis, you know, a soaring GDP that they really have to work, and most importantly the upcoming elections in Pakistan, where Imran Khan also made this into a huge issue issue against the reigning government, or as to why they agreed to come to India to mark an in-person presence for the foreign ministers meet. So a lot of pressure that they are facing in their own country to live up to their audience, to live up to their people, to really find that fine balance as to why they are here. So that exactly is the statement that they have been maintaining. But what is it that they will have to do to gain popularity there? Because they know that somewhere they will have to bring up Kashmir, but they have also been saying that no, it is not about anything else, and it is not about an India visit, an India tour. It is really about being committed to the charter of SCO. But there you see EM Jaishankar very, very poised there, standing to meet with all the foreign ministers, the Council of Foreign Ministers meet that is to begin now. The photo op that is happening there: Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, all the member countries, foreign ministers and heads of delegations that are all there, and they have just come here to meet with the foreign minister. And then of course shortly from now we know that the meeting of the Council of Foreign Ministers will begin, where again, like I told you, that there will be remarks by the foreign minister of Kazakhstan, followed by China, followed by Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan. So all this really is the agenda for the day, and like we have been saying, paving the way for the summit on the 3rd and 4th of July. Because let me once again tell you, Nupur, what I've been picking up from my sources, that the heads of states will be present for the summit on the 3rd and 4th of July. And although there is no formal word coming in there, because they're still saying that they're waiting for a confirmation on that front. But really to say all the heads of states of the SCO member countries are to be present on the 3rd and 4th of July. So this really is paving the way for that.
Now, Suresh, I just wanted to ask you about the bilateral meeting that is lined up between India and Russia today. It's going to be very keenly watched. Now, in the past, of course, the Prime Minister has at a public forum said, to Russia that this is not the time for war. Do you think, the foreign ministers could be touching on it, given the fact that it comes right at the back of allegations that have come in from Moscow about the Kremlin being attacked by Ukraine?
In fact, that is what everyone was waiting for, because let's also understand that, the very night that Kremlin made these allegations against Zelensky in Ukraine, saying that it was a planned terrorist attack and it was an assassination attempt against Putin. So, also the foreign ministry and the media also trying to get answers to whether that would in any way affect Sergei Lavrov's visit. And that again was a confirmation that came from the Russian embassy, that Sergei Lavrov will very much be coming to India, exactly as how he was the first foreign minister to arrive yesterday. And then again he had a bilateral with EM Jaishankar, where exactly, Nupur, what we were talking about in the morning, that these have been very important bilaterals both with Russia and China, because the issues not just of common interest, but really of what was concerning, and we are the host country here. So it was also about their foreign ministers bringing up what all they needed to discuss with India, and that opportunity was used to its best, because be it China, where LAC was discussed, and Qin Gang, China foreign minister, who's also put out a statement where they've said that the current situation on India-China border is generally stable. India side hopes to continue to seek to maintain peace and stability in the border area through consultations with the Chinese side. In fact, yesterday EM Jaishankar has also put out a tweet to this effect, saying that all the important issues were discussed with China, where the LAC situation also had a mention, and the focus remains on resolving outstanding issues and ensuring peace and tranquility in the border areas. So that is on the Chinese side. Even when it comes to the Russian side, it was about trade agreement and commercial interests that needed to be discussed, especially considering how volumes of crude oil have been procured by India on discounted rates amid the Ukraine-Russia conflict, and that again had to be something that benefits both sides, and that again saw mention when there was a bilateral bilateral between India and Russia. Of course, like you mentioned, that the allegations that Kremlin has been making of the attempted assassination against Vladimir Putin, where Moscow again has vowed to conduct a thorough investigation of the attack and said that every response has to be very thoughtful and balanced of the kind of global implications it may have. So yes, in that sense, like we see that those two important bilaterals, and of course the bilateral with Uzbekistan that also happened yesterday. But right now, E.M. Jaishankar right there to welcome all the foreign ministers, and then of course we'll see 15 important decisions which will be taken a call on in this event, and the outcome of which will be declared or will be put out in public domain this evening.
Also, Suyesh, I just wanted to ask you about Afghanistan. Now, one of the issues that all these neighboring countries will want to discuss is Afghanistan. What essentially is going to be the context of this decision, given the fact that, all the countries in the neighborhood are still extremely worried about the instability that's there in Afghanistan, and also, women's rights, which have, been essentially completely trampled upon by the Taliban administration. So is that something that the SCO will be talking about at all?
Yes, Nupur, absolutely, because it is. In fact, these were the persistent questions that we were trying to get answers to. Be it the situation in Afghanistan, be it the Ukraine crisis, that will really figure as far as the important agenda and the talks between the foreign ministers at the SCO summit is concerned. And because it is finally about looking for regional security, and like you mentioned, when it comes to the situation of women and girls under Taliban in Afghanistan, this is also one of the key focuses at the meeting, where they will be talking on how the SCO members can help and what can be done on this front. Then, of course, the other points when it comes to the admission of Iran and Belarus becoming full members of the grouping. So that is again something that the SCO members will be taking a decision on. And like I said, this is primarily paving the way for the summit on the 3rd and 4th of July in the national capital. Again, a point that I also told you yesterday of how India has become a full member of the SCO only from 2017. And, while there are a lot of praises with the way India has led and now, taking the SCO in the direction that it is going, there is also the fact that Mandarin and Russian were the official languages of the SCO all these years. So India is also pushing that English becomes the official language. Then again, we will see the foreign ministers of all the member states. They are accompanied by their delegations. And after this group photo that you just see, which is also happening, which will happen in a short while from now, there will be the decision document on the 15 decisions that will be taken by all the member countries, and that we will know of by this evening. So there are 15 decisions or 15 proposals that are under consideration of the grouping summit, and then that will have a bearing on the summit on the 3rd and 4th of July in the national capital, which again India is hosting.
All right, for that bilateral that took place, and otherwise generally for India, the issue of payments for Russian oil, which has been importing quite a bit during the sanctions that are there. Is there a payment system that's going to be discussed? Because that's been very, very important and crucial as far as India getting oil from Russia is concerned. So is that something that was discussed between the two sides?
Nupur, I just want to say that as far as this particular proposal is concerned, it is still at a very, very nascent stage. That is what we are picking up from our sources in the MEA. Now, I am not making this Russia specific, but really to say that India has been pushing that mutual settlement of trade in national currency. That is a proposal. So that is at a very, very initial stage. But to really say that that has been pushed very strongly with all the SCO members or is one of the main agendas at the SCO or has been particularly discussed with Russia would be slightly early on. But yes, that is a proposal which is very much in action, which is something that the Indian side is working on. But this is exactly what I have picked up from my sources, that it is a proposal that is at an initial stage and that India is certainly going to push stronger in the time to come. But yes, like we've been mentioning, the important aspects, the key focus points for India at the SCO and the very fact that, we are the host country, because, this is exactly what was said, that India has brought in a wave of dynamism to the SCO, but the focus primarily is on innovation, startup, traditional medicine, science and technology, and India is really leading the way on that front.
All right. So Asia, of course, is continuing to bring us the latest from the SCO summit that is taking place in Goa. Even as we speak, we submit a very short break. On the other side, so Asia will continue to be with us and bring us the latest.
तो एक हिसाब से आप सबका स्वागत है बुद्ध बनने के लिए। भले आसपास कुछ भी गड़बड़ी हो जाए, भीतर की शांति जो है वो हिलती नहीं है।
अगर वो मोदी को गाली देते हैं तो मैं तो इसे उपहार मानता हूँ। मैं जनता जनार्दन की सेवा में अपने आप को खपाता रहूंगा, दिन रात काम करूंगा, ज्यादा काम करूंगा। आपके आशीर्वाद से सारी गालियां मिट्टी में मिल जाएगी दोस्तों।
चुनाव ये तय करने का चुनाव है कि अगले 5 साल तक मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में डबल इंजन सरकार कर्नाटक को आगे ले जाएगी या कांग्रेस की सरकार कर्नाटक को पीछे ले जाएगी।
में 85% कमीशन खाने वाली कांग्रेस कर्नाटका को दशकों पीछे ले जाकर गड्ढे में गाड़ देगी। ई बारिया निर्धारा बहुमत का बीजेपी सरकारा। इस बार कर्नाटका ने पूर्ण बहुमत वाली बीजेपी की स्थिर सरकार बनाने का निर्णय कर लिया है। अगर वो मोदी को गाली देते हैं तो मैं तो इसे उपहार मानता हूँ। मैं जनता जनार्दन की सेवा में अपने आप को खपाता रहूंगा, दिन रात काम करूंगा, ज्यादा काम करूंगा। आपके आशीर्वाद से सारी गालियां मिट्टी में मिल जाएगी दोस्तों।
चुनाव ये तय करने का चुनाव है कि अगले 5 साल तक मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में डबल इंजन सरकार कर्नाटक को आगे ले जाएगी या कांग्रेस की सरकार कर्नाटक को पीछे ले जाएगी।
अगर वो मोदी को गाली देते हैं तो मैं तो इसे उपहार मानता हूँ। मैं जनता जनार्दन की सेवा में अपने आप को खपाता रहूंगा। दिन रात काम करूंगा, ज्यादा काम करूंगा। आपके आशीर्वाद से सारी गालियां मिट्टी में मिल जाएगी दोस्तों।
Chief in a meeting that will take place at 11 o'clock in Mumbai today. In a bid to unite the opposition parties for the next year's Lok Sabha elections, Bihar's Chief Minister Nitish Kumar is expected to meet his Odisha and Jharkhand counterparts Nabin Patnaik and Hemant Soren. And still to come, the BJP goes all out as campaigning enters its final stage. The Prime Minister is set to address mega rallies.
तो एक हिसाब से आप सबका स्वागत है बुद्ध बनने के लिए। और जब उस अवस्था का अनुभव होता है तो आपके भीतर शांति ही होती है। भले आसपास कुछ भी गड़बड़ी हो जाए, भीतर की शांति जो है वो हिलती नहीं है।
अगर वो मोदी को गाली देते हैं तो मैं तो इसे उपहार मानता हूं। मैं जनता जनार्दन की सेवा में अपने आप को खपाता रहूंगा। दिन रात काम करूंगा, ज्यादा काम करूंगा। आपके आशीर्वाद से सारी गालियां मिट्टी में मिल जाएगी दोस्तों। कमीशन खाने वाली कांग्रेस कर्नाटका को दशकों पीछे ले जाकर गड्ढे में गाड़ देगी। ई बारिया निर्धारा बहुमत का बीजेपी सरकारा। इस बार कर्नाटका ने पूर्ण बहुमत वाली बीजेपी की स्थिर सरकार बनाने का निर्णय कर लिया है। अगर वो मोदी को गाली देते हैं तो मैं तो इसे उपहार मानता हूं। मैं जनता जनार्दन की सेवा में अपने आप को खपाता रहूंगा। दिन रात काम करूंगा, ज्यादा काम करूंगा। आपके आशीर्वाद से सारी गालियां मिट्टी में मिल जाएगी दोस्तों।
चुनाव ये तय करने का चुनाव है कि अगले 5 साल तक मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में डबल इंजन सरकार कर्नाटक को आगे ले जाएगी या कांग्रेस की सरकार कर्नाटक को पीछे ले जाएगी।
कमीशन खाने वाली कांग्रेस कर्नाटका को दशकों पीछे ले जाकर गड्ढे में गाड़ देगी। ई बारिया निर्धारा बहुमत का बीजेपी सरकारा। इस बार कर्नाटक
BJP goes all out as campaigning enters final stage in battleground Karnataka. Prime Minister set to address mega rallies.
Regarding banning any organization, it is not under the subject of the state government. It is only the power is with the union government. So, regarding that aspect, already Mohli has clarified everything. I don't want to intervene in that issue.
And Congress leader Jagdish Shettar speaks exclusively to Republic TV, says state government has no right to ban any groups. The NCP meet likely to take place today. Meanwhile, pro-Sharad Pawar posters seen outside NCP office. Nationalist Congress Party is set to choose its next chief. Ajit Pawar and Supriya Sule are the frontrunners. With Sergei Lavrov and Kin Gang in attendance, all eyes on the big SCO summit on day 2 in Goa today. And in breaking news that we are getting right now, the Nationalist Congress Party's senior leaders are expected to hold a key meeting today to announce the new chief of the party, the successor to Sharad Pawar as the NCP stalwart who has been at the helm of affairs of the party ever since its founding, stepped down in a shock announcement just around 3 days ago. The committee meeting is it's an 18-member committee meeting. And joining me now from the ground is my colleague Sandeep. Sandeep, what are you hearing? Are the members gathered? We believe it's an 18-member committee. And Supriya Sule and Ajit Pawar still the front runners, or are there any indications that a decision has already been made?
See, as far as today's meeting is concerned, the maximum leaders and in fact the top NCP sources have confirmed us, and in fact while speaking to Republic also, PC Chako, the senior NCP leader, as well as Shagan Bhujbal has clearly mentioned that there is no point of discussion on the options apart from Sharad Pawar, although one proposal that is going to come out today is that Sharad Pawar should withdraw this resignation. And as you see, in the support of Sharad Pawar, we see out here the visual.
Engagement with SCO observers and dialogue partners by inviting them to participate in more than 14 socio-cultural events. Dear colleagues, as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and geopolitical upheavals, the world is today facing a multitude of challenges. These events have disrupted global supply chains, leading to serious impact on the supply of energy, food, and fertilizers, and cascading effects on developing nations. These crises have also exposed a credibility and trust deficit in the ability of global institutions to manage challenges in a timely and efficient manner. These challenges, however, are also an opportunity for member states of the SCO to collaborate and address them collectively. With more than 40% of the world's population within the SCO, our collective decisions will surely have a global impact. Excellencies, while the world was engaged in facing COVID and its consequences, the menace of terrorism continues unabated. Taking our eyes off this menace would be detrimental to our security interests. We firmly believe that there can be no justification for terrorism, and it must be stopped in all its forms and manifestations, including cross-border terrorism. The channel of finances for terrorist activities must be seized and blocked without distinction. Members need not be reminded that combating terrorism is one of the original mandates of the SCO. The unfolding situation in Afghanistan remains at the center of our attention. Our efforts should be directed towards the welfare of the Afghan people. Our immediate priorities include providing humanitarian assistance, ensuring a truly inclusive and representative government, combating terrorism and drug trafficking, and preserving the rights of women, children, and minorities. India has always stood for multilateral approaches to addressing global challenges and has always been a willing partner in sharing our expertise and experience. In this regard, India's own achievement in the field of startups and innovation is a remarkable journey. Today, there are more than 70,000 startups in India, of which more than 100 are unicorns. We stand ready to share our experience with member states. Colleagues, in this context, I would like to express my gratitude to all of you for
Well, it's day 2 of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Foreign Ministers meet be underway in Goa today. The meet, as remember, the meet is being held under the chairmanship of India. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar speaking there. It's being regarded as a huge opportunity for India to set the discourse, to connect with the greater part of Eurasia. And it's interesting that the foreign ministers of our neighbors, China and Pakistan, who arrived yesterday, are present at this meeting too. India has already had a bilateral with China earlier. And today, the foreign ministers of all these countries, not just India, China, Russia and Pakistan, but of Kazakhstan and other various countries in Eurasia as well, are to sit together to formulate a 15 set of decisions or proposals for the consideration of the grouping summit in July. And the proposals will be aimed at expanding cooperation among the member countries in the areas of trade,
4 new dialogue partners will sign the MOU for their association with SCO today in Goa. We welcome our new dialogue partners and hope to intensify engagement with them in the SCO format. Excellencies, India has proposed a New Delhi declaration as an SCO summit declaration and 4 other thematic joint statements on cooperation in de-radicalization strategies, promotion of millets, sustainable lifestyles to address climate change, and digital transformation. I seek your support in timely finalization of these documents for approval by our leaders at the SCO summit. I am confident that today's meeting would lead to fruitful discussions which would help in sustaining the momentum of our cooperation. I once again wholeheartedly thank you all for your support for the first ever SCO presidency of India, and I sincerely hope that we can get together to make the SCO Heads of State Summit meeting a great success. Thank you. With that, may I now request our friends from the media to please leave the meeting hall so that the proceedings can thereafter continue.
All right, so continuing to get you the latest from the SCO summit. Remember, it is day 2, and a short while ago, we got you pictures of EM Jaishankar welcoming all the foreign ministers. That was followed by opening remarks from the External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, who also went on to chart out the key points of, the SCO summit this time, as he very categorically said how India is really paving the way for the SCO that comprises of more than 40% of the world population, and the collective efforts that will really show the impact of what it has. He also went on to talk about how there is absolutely no justification for terrorism, and the SCO is collectively making efforts where India is playing a very active role when it comes to combating terrorism. He also went on to say that India has always stood for global challenges, and that was very, very visible, especially during the COVID situation, and how India really throttled its way through, not just to help itself, but also went on to help several countries across the globe to combat COVID. He also went on to say that the menace of terrorism continues unabated, and that is also one of the key issues of the SCO, where India is playing a very active role on that. He added that there can be no justification of terrorism, including cross-border terrorism, which, remember, is also going to figure in the 15 decisions that are to be taken in the SCO summit, that will primarily revolve around how to counter terrorism. It is also about regional stability. So we have to slip into a very short commercial break on that note, but we'll be back on the other side with the very latest from the SCO summit in Goa, where the foreign ministers are meeting.
तो एक हिसाब से आप सबका स्वागत है बुद्ध बनने के लिए। और जब उस अवस्था का अनुभव होता है तो आपके भीतर शांति ही होती है। भले आसपास कुछ भी गड़बड़ी हो जाए, भीतर की शांति जो है वो हिलती नहीं है। ऐसा क्या है जो भगवान गौतम बुद्ध उन्होंने अनुभव किया और हम नहीं कर पाए?
अगर वो मोदी को गाली देते हैं तो मैं तो इसे उपहार मानता हूं। मैं जनता जनार्दन की सेवा में अपने आप को खपाता रहूंगा। दिन रात काम करूंगा, ज्यादा काम करूंगा। आपके आशीर्वाद से सारी गालियां मिट्टी में मिल जाएगी दोस्तों।
चुनाव ये तय करने का चुनाव है कि अगले 5 साल तक मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में डबल इंजन सरकार कर्नाटक को आगे ले जाएगी या कांग्रेस की सरकार कर्नाटक को पीछे ले जाएगी।
अगर वो मोदी को गाली देते हैं तो मैं तो इसे उपहार मानता हूं। मैं जनता जनार्दन की सेवा में अपने आप को खपाता रहूंगा। दिन रात काम करूंगा, ज्यादा काम करूंगा। आपके आशीर्वाद से सारी गालियां मिट्टी में मिल जाएगी दोस्तों। कमीशन खाने वाली कांग्रेस कर्नाटका को दशकों पीछे ले जाकर गड्ढे में गाड़ देगी। ई बारिया निर्धारा बहुमत का बीजेपी सरकार इस बार कर्नाटका ने पूर्ण बहुमत वाली बीजेपी की स्थिर सरकार बनाने का निर्णय कर लिया है। अगर वो मोदी को गाली देते हैं तो मैं तो इसे उपहार मानता हूं। मैं जनता जनार्दन की सेवा में अपने आप को खपाता रहूंगा। दिन रात काम करूंगा, ज्यादा काम करूंगा। आपके आशीर्वाद से सारी
And you're watching viewers live in breaking on Republic. Well, these are live visuals from the day of this day 2 of the SCO summit underway in Goa, the 2-day meeting of foreign ministers of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the SCO. The meet, which began yesterday, saw huge success with a bilateral between India and China already held. On the first day, India's External Affairs Minister held meetings with his many counterparts. He also met SCO Secretary General Zhang Ming and appreciated his support for India's SCO presidency and added that it is driven by commitment to secure the SCO. A short while back, External Affairs Minister, who is hosting this entire event, also spoke. Let's listen in once again to what he said.
Excellencies, while the world was engaged in facing COVID and its consequences, the menace of terrorism continues unabated. Taking our eyes off this menace would be detrimental to our security interests. We firmly believe that there can be no justification for terrorism and it must be stopped in all its forms and manifestations, including cross-border terrorism. The channel of finances for terrorist activities must be seized and blocked without distinction. Members need not be reminded that combating terrorism is one of the original mandates of the SCO. The unfolding situation in Afghanistan remains at the center of our attention. Our efforts should be directed towards the welfare of the Afghan people. Our immediate priorities include providing humanitarian assistance, ensuring a truly inclusive and representative government, combating terrorism and drug trafficking, and preserving the rights of women, children, and minorities.
Mr. S. Jaishankar there. More breaking news coming in from Goa. India calls out terror sponsor Pakistan, says that nothing justifies terror. And Suesha joining us now to give us more on this, on the major takeaways of what the External Affairs Minister said. Suesha, this is Rukma here. A very good morning to you once again. When we talk about what the External Affairs Minister said, as you said earlier this morning when we spoke, a focus on terror, the biggest concern of the world nowadays, again stressed on by the External Affairs Minister. Take our viewers through the major takeaways.
Oh yes, absolutely, Rukma, and let's understand that this has figured in the opening remarks of External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, because India is very clear on its position when it comes to combating terrorism and every step and every measure that India is taking towards that resolve. And even when it comes to the SCO grouping, let me also tell you that the 15 decisions that need to be taken, which will be an outcome of this particular congregation of the SCO foreign ministers meet, that are also centered around combating terrorism, boosting connectivity and regional prosperity. So that is a direct message that EM Jaishankar puts out when he says that there is absolutely no justification for those who sponsor and encourage terror and push terrorism. And India is very clear that we are, fighting very hard towards combating terrorism, and it is a collective origin of the SCO. Remember, India is really paving the way and marking that as one of the key focuses of the SCO, where he also went on to say that the menace of terrorism continues unabated and combating terrorism is one of the original mandates of SCO, saying that we've initiated an unprecedented engagement, and that is what the SCO is centered around. Let's also understand, Rukma, why this is particularly important, because when it comes to the Pakistan delegation marking an in-person presence for the foreign ministers meet, and a lot of questions around whether there would be a bilateral between India and Pakistan, while Pakistan had to cater to its audience and said what they had to amid all that criticism. India had made its position very clear that a nation that engages in encouraging, sponsoring and continuing with cross-border terrorism, we cannot have talks with such a nation. The day they honor their word on that, at some stage, then probably a thought can be given. So the very fact that how India is looking at, combating terrorism and paving the way for that is very, very evident in the opening remarks by External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar, where let's also understand that the whole idea and motto, as India is hosting the SCO summit and the big event that is to take place, where all the heads of states will also be present on the 3rd and 4th of July in the national capital, is secure SCO. It is security, economy, connectivity, unity, respect and environment, but it is secure SCO.
Right.
So it is about regional prosperity, it is about stability.
I'll be coming back to you. I'll just be coming back to you, but at this point, I'm joined by Professor Madhav Nalapat, a strategic analyst, and also Colonel RSN Singh, retired, and to discuss more on India's statements, the External Affairs Minister's statements. Coming to you first of all, Professor Nalapat, when we talk about this particular SCO summit, very significant, wouldn't you agree, from India's point of view, an opportunity despite all the challenges. And our neighbors both have their representatives here, Bilawal Bhutto as well as Kingang. So, well, we'd like you to put into perspective and, what you feel are the major highlights of what External Affairs Minister said today. It's not a new message, but it's a reiteration and emphasis on the need to combat terror, to fight terror at all costs. It's over to you, Professor Nalapat.
Well, I'd like to say, first of all, I am rather disappointed that Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov, of all the 15 members of the SCO, was forced by the Chinese side to also meet Bilawal Bhutto. The fact is that the Russians know very well the harm that Pakistan has done in Russia and the harm that Pakistani networks are still doing inside Russia. But the sad truth is that ever since the Ukraine conflict began and the Western response to Russia, the Russians are now forced to basically do what the Chinese want them to do. And this is why Lavrov has frankly, was forced to meet Bilawal Bhutto and in a way sacrifice a lot of the goodwill, a lot of the public goodwill that Russia has in India. He has made that sacrifice on the directions of the Chinese side. Now, having said that, I'd like to say Minister Jaishankar has been very forthright. One, India has been very hospitable. All the delegations have been treated equally, and India has not allowed bilateral issues to cloud a multilateral forum. I think that's a very, very welcome development. But secondly, India is very, very clear on the fact that global terror is a global problem. And there cannot be any good terrorist or bad terrorist. In the old days, there was good terrorism for the United States and bad terrorism. Today, in a few hours' time, you're going to see the Chinese foreign minister put his arm around the shoulders of Bilawal Bhutto, who is fully informed as to what networks run from Pakistan, run from the military, not fully informed, but partially informed on the military networks, are doing in India. The Chinese also know that. And despite that, what is happening is that China is literally going arm in arm with Pakistan and proving right those analysts who had long ago warned of this kind of a Sino-Pakistan alliance. The Chinese are now using Pakistan the same way as the Americans used Pakistan in the first Cold War. China is using Pakistan in this Cold War to try and damage India. And this is happening in plain sight. The Chinese foreign minister has time only for about a day in India, but 3 days in Pakistan. Why? Because they'll certainly be discovering and a lot of means by which they can put pressure on India, and they will certainly be discussing that. That will be a very big subject of discussion between these two individuals. So let's be very real about the SCO summit. There are countries there that are enemies of India. There are countries there that are friendly to India but which are forced to toe the line of certain enemy countries. At the same time, it is good to be a part of SCO because India can make its stand heard. And I think this comment that Minister Jaishankar has made will resonate in Central Asia. Central Asia is facing both Wahhabi terrorism and an effort by China to grab its resources at minimum cost and basically exploit Central Asia. India is there as a friend of Central Asia, of long-standing, long cultural association. And from that point of view, I think this is a message that the Central Asians in particular will really welcome. So I would again like to say it's very good that we're having this SCO meeting. It's very good that all the members are being invited and treated in a very polite way as befits Indian custom and Indian tradition. At the same time, hard truths are being expressed by Minister Jaishankar and nothing is being held back. I think between the lines, everybody in that meeting can understand what Minister Jaishankar is talking about, and I'd like to have seen the faces of the Chinese and Pakistan delegations looking at each other, because sadly they are accomplices in the networks that are operating in India, and they are accomplices for the reason that China does not want India to go anywhere near China in terms of growth of the national resilience.
Right, sir. Many thanks, Professor Nalapat. Time now for a short break.
तो एक हिसाब से आप सबका स्वागत है बुद्ध बनने के लिए। और जब उस अवस्था का अनुभव होता है तो आपके भीतर शांति ही होती है। भले आसपास कुछ भी गड़बड़ी हो जाए, भीतर की शांति जो है वो हिलती नहीं है। ऐसा क्या है जो भगवान गौतम बुद्ध उन्होंने अनुभव किया और हम नहीं कर पाए?
ये चुनाव ये तय करने का चुनाव है कि अगले 5 साल तक मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में डबल इंजन सरकार कर्नाटक को आगे ले जाएगी या कांग्रेस की सरकार कर्नाटक को पीछे ले जाएगी।
में 85% कमीशन खाने वाली कांग्रेस कर्नाटका को दशकों पीछे ले जाकर गड्ढे में गाड़ देगी। ई बारियां निर्धारा बहुमत बीजेपी सरकारा। इस बार कर्नाटका ने पूर्ण बहुमत वाली बीजेपी की स्थिर सरकार बनाने का निर्णय कर लिया है। अगर वो मोदी को गाली देते हैं तो मैं तो इसे उपहार मानता हूं।
BJP goes all out as campaigning enters final stage. Prime Minister set to address mega rallies today.
The organization, it is not under the subject of the state government. It is only the power is with the union government. So regarding that aspect, already Moli has clarified everything. I don't want to intervene in that issue.
Senior Congress leader Jagdish Shettar speaks exclusively to Republic TV, says state government has no right to ban any groups. Key NCP meet likely to take place today. Meanwhile, pro-Sharad Pawar posters seen outside NCP office. Nationalist Congress Party is set to choose next chief. Ajit Pawar and Supriya Sule front runners. With Sergei Lavrov and Kim Gang in attendance, all eyes as day 2 of the big SCO meeting kicks off in Goa. Welcome once again to this edition of Live and Breaking. Well, the two-day meeting of foreign ministers of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the SCO members, enters day 2. The meet, which began yesterday, was a huge success. A short while back, External Affairs Minister, who is chairing the meet, gave out the keynote address welcoming the excellencies, the foreign ministers of all the countries in attendance. Let's listen in to what he said in his statement.
Excellencies, while the world was engaged in facing COVID and its consequences, the menace of terrorism continues unabated. Taking our eyes off this menace would be